Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night Live stream. We're glad y'all are here. Uh, got a cast of usual suspects. Kyle, do that thing you do.
Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see the side chat popping. We got a great panel. It's been a wonderful week, a very wonderful week. And I'm going to send it over to Mock.
Howdy, folks. Been a good week. I got a few projects done this week. I've been pulling down some old 8mm surplus rounds from 1945 and 48. Don't want to trust them as they are. A little scary, but doing pretty good. Glad to see everybody. I do not have the side chat anywhere, so hello, side chat. I'll try to get my phone charged and turn it on here in a few minutes. But young guy from California, how you doing, sir?
Doing well over here. Had an interesting week around these parts. We had another rainy week, and I started off doing some casting on Monday, and it started to rain, and I finished up anyway. I was just inside my garage door threshold, so I got that done. Then I started reloading on Wednesday afternoon in the middle of a big storm, and the power went out with battery power, lights and stuff, trying to finish up my reloading project because I didn't want to leave the powder and stuff out. So I got stuff done anyway, but it wasn't without challenges. But we had a dry day today finally, so doing well. Mr. Gene from the Hot Pot, who sent me a gracious gift this week. If you guys saw the video. Oh, sakes.
That was just some scraps I found at work, Walter. It was sitting on a shelf and getting dusty doing nothing. Truthfully, it was.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Hey, thanks for having me on. Hey, look at this illustrious side, this panel here. Look at this illustrious panel. Like great side chat. Man, it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night. Let's get some learning on. I'm ready for some schooling.
Yeah. A bunch of guys out there in that side chat already.
Well, I point to the side because the way I see it, my side chat's over here.
Yeah,
but actually it's down there.
So I'm going to apologize in advance because supper's late tonight, so I'll be popping in and out for the first few minutes. But Walter was talking about power going out in the middle of his casting session. Kind of fits in with the topic for this evening, and we want to be careful about how we let that progress because this is not going to turn into a prepping show. That's not what we do here. And CW and I were talking about it earlier, and CW's here. He's taking care of some stuff at the house. He'll be back on here in just a few minutes, but y'all make sure you welcome him. I got a secret, and y'all probably already know, but CW passed 1,000 subscribers today or this week, so another great week for that. And see, man, I'm just sitting here at 800. You know, people zoom by me all the time, and I'm just.
You're gliding along right well. You're gliding along. I just passed 3,700.
Not without drama, though, brother.
Yeah, oh boy. Yes, sir.
It's been a rough road, man.
Boy, oh boy, that was a tough time.
So, Hillbilly, hurry up and get in here where we can start talking about the topic that you suggested, brother.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I hope I sent him a link. I got to make me a list. I got to make me an email list of you guys to make sure I don't forget anybody.
What have you been up to this week,
If you
Jamie?
don't highlight it, I will.
I keep losing my place here. Go ahead. No, that's not CW's MO. He will come and take your molds, or he'll let you borrow a mold.
Or send you bullets from a mold.
But yeah,
G23 thinks his invitation got lost in the mail. Let's see what I can do about that. Howdy, Tex. 6-shooter Texans out there.
MacMan's out there.
There's MacMan. Lakeview was first, I think. He's been missing in action. The rascal goes ice fishing. Hillbilly, I could have swore. Let me get him a link over there. I could have. Anyway, y'all talk amongst yourselves.
I thought I see him on the email, but you know, I could have been looking at a different email too. I mean, you know, all that technology.
I've caught myself in the same situation where I'll be looking at the wrong thing, and I'm just like, "Where is everybody?" And it was last week's.
Yeah, no, it's not on the list that I got today.
Yeah, it's not. I forgot.
Oh well.
I was trying to copy and paste that, but you can't copy and paste email addresses.
Why not?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a way. We just hadn't figured it out yet.
It deactivates the link when you copy it. It becomes just data at that point.
Would it help if you hit copy URL?
If that was an option, yeah, that would be if they.
On some things I see that, and some things I don't. I'm not sure about emails, but
we're glad you're here, Abrams.
M12 Abrams tank. I think that's made right where I live.
I was trying to reply to his comment. Just want to say, hey, Abrams. it wouldn't populate to where it would highlight you. So
I think those are made right here in Lima, Ohio.
Far out.
Yep. Every once in a while, I'll see big old flatbed with a tank on it coming, because where my drive to work, it's right at the T intersection where you go one way and it's the tank factory, and the other way is down to my job. Every once in a while, I'll see them coming through, big old flatbeds, man, heavy duty hauling trucks with a tank on the back of it.
I was gonna say that is a big old flatbed.
Yes, it is. Last one I seen had 4 sets of tandems, and it was a heavy hauler.
Oh, yeah, they're heavy,
Yeah.
but they can still move.
Yeah, the tractor was a 3-axle.
Yeah.
Hey, Hillbilly.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Well, we're better now.
Yeah, you said hurry up and get on in there, and I'm like, well, I ain't got no link. It's hard to do.
It appears, sir, your answers have been received, and you have one now.
Yeah, dude, don't I?
Straighten up now. Here comes
Very
trouble.
Oh,
Oh man. He's at the dog's
man,
house.
you let G in here.
You see the neighborhood? There it goes.
Welcome, G. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for being here. So, we wanted to talk a little bit tonight about. Well, Hillbilly, since it was your idea, you go for it.
All right. Yeah. The other evening, I was sitting there and I was watching MacMan load some rifle shells, and I just think ICW. Anyway, I was like watching, and watch you guys, do different stuff. I'm like, you got these tumblers, to clean your brass, and and you got all this different stuff that's awesome, just makes it great. And I was wondering myself, I'm like, so, like, for instance, you didn't have no electricity, just like Walter had, it happened the other night. Um, is there just like certain shells that you would be able to go ahead and load, clean the brass, load that like you're like, okay, this caliper I have down, it's no problem. I can load this without any electricity or do any of this stuff. Or is there certain rounds that's like, man, it'd be really hard to do without, the books, for um, your measurements and, weights and grains and all that stuff. So that's something I was just curious about. Um, if there was a situation you didn't have any electricity and maybe not for, a couple months or something, uh, what could you do? I mean, personally, or stuff like that. And so that's what I was thinking to myself. And I emailed Jamie, and he goes, "Well, we'll just find out." So I appreciate
Well,
that.
with the least amount of experience, I would say if you're going to have a long-term power outage, you can always reload during the day when you have light. But always you want to have, just like you have your digital, you want to have manual backups. So, you can always be able to weigh, your grains, weigh your powder charges, even without having to have electricity. And most of your scales are going to have like battery backups also. So you can still run like your digitals on a battery backup. So you can still do that.
Cool.
I would say, I'm going to jump in on that.
Yeah.
No scales. Have a set of lead dippers. And let's see, I don't think I'd be afraid to reload anything because of anything that I load, because of having knowledge of how much is too much, how much you need for that projectile to work on a consistent base. I know how many. I've got 4 or 5 different powders just for like 9mm. I know which range I can stay in with each powder and use the same dipper for all, and they will all work.
Yeah. So
Some may be a little snappier, some may be a little softer, but they're still going to work.
So
from
if you're a new person, don't just always rely on your scale. Like the Hot Pot says, you should learn how to use those dippers correctly. And I believe C-Dub and Viejo have both put out videos before on how to properly use the dippers to get an accurate load each time.
Yeah, the
Also,
dippers
don't
really.
forget, guys,
Go
there's
ahead,
an
Zito.
old-fashioned thing called a regular mechanical scale that doesn't need any electricity.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, let's say
Beam
you didn't.
scales and.
I was saying if you
with
didn't have any scales,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
you need to reload, you need to set those dippers with you.
Mhm.
I'm thinking, what hits the old spinny thing that goes around and makes it fly.
Yeah.
Well, really, all you need is 2 powders. You need Varget, just compress it,
Yeah.
and take Trail Boss, fill it to the bottom of the bullet, and seat that.
Yeah.
No, just
Black
kidding.
powder.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, don't buy Varget.
Yeah.
Don't buy
Save it for
Varget.
Gene. But if you've got a hopper style powder measure, that's just mechanical, like a Redding or an RCBS Uniflow, something like that, and a beam scale to check your charge with. You're good to go there. You don't need power for that. Most presses, other than if you got a case feeder, don't really require power. For me, it's about having enough light to do it by. You really don't use much power. I guess if you were doing all your loads with an electronic, digital powder dispenser, like the Lyman or the RCBS Charge Master or some of those, if you were depending on that, then you might be out of luck. But I don't know anybody who has those, including me, that doesn't have mechanical scales. I just this a few months ago got myself an RCVS Little Dandy. That's kind of a neat little powder dispenser. And they're fast and they're easy. And you can do it by hand and just go like this back and forth across your tray. They're a slick little rig. And they come with, well, they don't come with them, but you get rotors that are pre-measured. And you got a chart that tells you how much of each of the powders that each of those rotors will throw. So I was just using it today, in fact, and I was throwing 4 grains of Vitivari N340, and I look on my chart, and you need a number 7 rotor. Done. You don't even. It's kind of like an up version of the lead dippers, except you don't have to. You don't have to dip them. It's in the measure, but they're pre-measured for you. Sort of like a Lee auto drum. That not an auto drum, the auto disc.
Yeah, that little dandy, when it came up in the chat that night, I ordered one the next day, and it's neat. It'll sit there and ride on your little turret if you wanted to, and just be fun.
Oh yeah, you do all kinds of stuff with it. It's a great little tool. It doesn't hold a lot of powder,
right?
But I like it because I can take it off of the mount and hold it in my hand, and just go across my
right across the loading block. Yep.
Across the block, yeah. So that's handy. So for me, anyway, to me, it's mostly about light, and all of my homeowner grade power tools is all Ryobi, and I've got 18,000 batteries. Every time you get one, you get a battery. So I've got a couple of their battery powered lights, and these things run forever on a 2 amp hour light, and they got a USB charging port in it, so you can charge your phones off of them. Cool. And that's a handy gadget to have. You can charge up anything else. I had got this one from Harbor Freight. This is really a cool light too. USB rechargeable, folds over all kinds of directions. Got 3 different power levels on it. Got a flashlight in the end, and it's got a really strong magnetic base.
Those are real good.
You can stick that to your press mount or something like that. It wasn't real cheap. It was like $20 or something. But this is a good light, you guys. Let's see if I can get the name of it there. Braun.
Those are good. Sticking the wheel well when you're doing the brake job too.
Yeah, this is a good light. I was surprised how bright that sucker was. So a couple good battery powered lights, and that's exactly what I did Wednesday night when the power went out on me. Grabbed one of those lanterns and that little light. It was battery powered from Harbor Freight. Stuck them on the, one on the bench and the other one stuck to my inline fabrication mounting system there, and that one lit up the RAM. It kept on going like nothing happened. So
yeah. So how are you going to clean your brass?
Wipe it off with a rag like we used to do.
I don't know much of this. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
So I know you guys have the sand stuff or whatever. You put it in these hopper.
That's
things.
A good point.
And so I'm just thinking, could what would you have to do if you didn't have electricity? I'm not,
Yeah. No, you can take a container and put all that brass in a jug with some soap and hot water and go like this for about 10 minutes and
kind of like
it off and dry it.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and that's how we used to do it.
Birchwood Casey made a case cleaner back before wet tumbling was a thing. And I used to use it for my range brass. Any kind of brass that I picked up on the range that somebody else had shot that had been there for a couple seasons or whatever. That's what I always did with it to get it clean before it went into the regular tumbler, because it would just dirty up your media really fast. So you buy that stuff and you pour a little in the bucket, you put some hot water in there and you throw the brass in there and you swish it around. They've made it forever, and they still do. But you could use all different kinds of things. Regular old distillator works plenty well.
Definitely a good solution.
Like you'd use in a wet tumbler today, you could use it without it.
Yeah, I think we get kind of spoiled on how shiny and clean we want it, which is great.
Yeah.
But as long as you get that burnt residue and carbon and a smoother surface to it, it's going to fire just fine.
Yep. I'll tell you what, all my brass that I clean for like competitive shooting for USPSA, I run it through Dawn dish soap with some citric acid, and that's it. I don't do any dry tumbling or any vibratory finish to it because it's going to be left on a range I don't belong to. I don't care about it. It feeds just fine. Never had a problem with it.
Mhm.
I'm just not going to take the time when I'm loading in that big of a mass. So
When I first started reloading, it was 44 mag, and I wasn't reloading very many at a time. Maybe 50 at a time was all I ever loaded. I loaded it when I needed it, and I just bring it home, wipe it out, and I had a case brush and just brush out the inside and go.
Like
And, yeah, it worked.
Jamie gave me the idea. Like when you're doing these live streams or you're watching a TV show, something like that, you can take like an old pickle jar or some round container, throw some brass in there, water, like some dish soap, Dawn dish soap, and if you want Lemmy Shine or something like that, throw it in the jar. Make sure your lid's on really tight. Set it on the floor and then just put it under your foot and roll it back and forth while you're watching something. And about a half hour later, all your stuff is clean.
Throw it in the back of the pickup. Drive around.
you could always put it in a jug behind your riding lawnmower when you mow your lawn. By the time you're done
If
mowing,
you ride a Harley,
you got
put it
that
tied
nice
onto the
clean
back.
brass. I could see Hillbilly doing that. That'd be a good video.
With the
How to
price
clean
of
your brass
gas,
on your riding lawnmower.
with the price of gas, I don't think I'd be driving around in my pickup truck.
Well, I heard the neighbor's gas tank was empty and they couldn't go anywhere. I don't know what happened to them.
They're probably still at home.
No, I took all their gas, man. Come on. I used my
Yeah.
hard spray battery operated pump.
There was a lot of pretty good ideas on a old contest full lead taco had where you had to cast bullets without power, and it was pretty neat seeing the campfires and ladles and all this weird stuff coming out to cast bullets. So you could still get that job done as well without power.
I've just
That's
got
actually a pretty good point. If you've never done ladle casting, it's a good skill to have. It's pretty simple. You don't go real fast. It's not hard to do, but you're not using a thermometer. You're not using an electric pot. You can do it over a Coleman stove if you don't want to build a campfire.
Yeah.
But you just need a small cast iron pot and a heat source of some kind. It could be a campfire. It'll work. And ladle casting, it's not all that hard to do, but there is a skill to it. That it takes a little bit of practice. Not much, but just about anybody who can cast out of an electric pot can do ladle casting. So something worth trying if you guys have never done it before.
Sure.
Man, there's some molds that just love to be ladle casted. I mean, it's like you're forcing that lead down in there, and it makes such good bullets when you get it right.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's something about muzzle loader bullets and ladle casting. Just seems to be the right thing to do.
because that's absolute traditional. I've been stuck on listening to these series about the American Revolution, Civil War, all the stuff, man. All this History Channel. I've been glued to it for the last week or so.
Yeah, some good stuff on there.
Oh,
Back
Absolutely.
when men were men.
I'll text you some ideas after the chat, Timmy.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Do y'all remember who won the taco apocalypse?
no, I do not. Who, Jamie? Come on.
I could take a stab in the dark and say C-dub.
Wasn't me.
There was 3 winners, or that was one of those multi-level winner deals.
That was the hardest video I ever made, and I was the first one drawn.
Was it the Yugo?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I
One
thought. I knew it was you.
Mauser that we thought was an M48 Mauser, and then when we got it, it didn't say model M48; it said model 98. So that led some to believe that it was a German capture. I don't know, but I'm happy with it. It's pretty.
Oh, yeah. It's a nice one. I've got to shoot it.
And I'm sorry that I spelled that wrong, gentlemen, and everybody in the side chat. I couldn't think of how to spell apocalypse or apocalypse or.
James uses soup. What kind of soup do you use, James? He uses water and soup to clean his brass. They're like high acidity like tomato soup? Or would you go traditional with chicken noodle?
That'd probably do it.
Probably chicken and stars.
I'd want to use cream of mushroom soup.
Let me go back to something CW said just for a second. Back in the 1800s or pre-Civil War, most guns that you bought, handguns, came with a toolkit, which was generally a one-piece tool, and a little casting thing to cast one bullet at a time. No, I don't remember it. I wasn't there. And I've seen it.
Look like a pair of pliers.
Yeah, some of the old reloading tools, like the old, Ideal number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 that had that would do all the reloading, plus had one cavity mold built into a fence pliers type of a tool, kind of like the 310. But I have an old one that was made in about 1906 for 3855, and it does everything, including casting the bullet. It'll size the bullet. It'll you got to rub your own grease into the grease screws, but it'll resize the case, flare the case, seat the bullet. Does everything with just one tool. Pretty cool.
They're going for a pretty high price on eBay right now.
Yeah.
Another loading method. I don't know if we talked about it before I got on, but it's the Lee whack-a-moles, load-alls. They made them in a number of calibers and gauges, and they required nothing but that kit and some projectiles, powder, and primers to load.
Yeah, hammer of some kind.
I strictly started out with those, and I still got 9 sets, and I gave my 270 to Jamie because he was. Yeah, I just surprised him with that, but that's really neat.
And I can see it right now.
Yeah, I've got a half a dozen of the pistol caliber ones. Every once in a while I'll get one out, just to kind of remember how to do it. I don't use them very often, but I have in the past. They're a great thing to take to the range. If you're going to get out and try some different loads and stuff, all you got to do is have something solid underneath it and a hammer that won't tear it apart, and keep on keeping on.
Yes, sir.
Y'all help Tim S out on that. He don't have to have a 311 diameter mold for 30-30. Lee makes a couple of good flat tip bullets in 309, and they're going to drop closer to 310 and a half.
They got a 150 and a 170. I believe both.
I have the 170. It actually drops closer to 180 grains, and it more like closer to 311 than 309.
I've got that Lee 309 230 grain mold, and I find I don't even have to size them.
Nice.
I just drop them right in, just for the flare it out really well for my 300 blackout, and they just drop right in.
Thing with cast bullets is you can definitely have them too small, but you seldom ever have a problem with them being too large. If they fit in the gun,
Right.
they're fine. But if you get them too small, you can have all kinds of problems, from leading
Yeah.
to inaccuracy, from stability to all kinds of problems. So I always tell everybody I prefer fat bullets.
Yeah, easier to size them down than it is to size them up too. If you got a mold that drops too small, if you're trying to drop 429 and your mold drops at 426 or something, powder coating's not going to help you. You know.
I had some people get on my side there. I was trying to send them over here so
Oh,
they could show up on the main chat. So
M.C showing up.
yeah,
6-shooter Texan. Maybe that'd be a neat video to put over on Rumble, since we can't show how to do it here. But that'd be neat once you get that rolling.
yeah.
Well, I got my mold in for my new Tinker toy I bought.
Nice.
Which mold did you get, Gene?
I got the semi-wad cutter from Lee 240 grain. I'm gonna try that one first.
Yeah.
Kind of got a little package deal on it because I've ordered from this same place before, and I need the sizer, the mold, and the dies, and so they gave me quite a bit off on the whole package deal. So I just went ahead and bought that.
Oh, yeah, great.
Never hurts to ask. It never hurts to ask if you're buying multiple things from like, because I bought it off of eBay, but it's a company I've been dealing with for lease stuff for a while. Never hurts to send an email out and say, hey, I'll buy all 3 of these. Cut me a little break on them.
Yep. I've done exactly the same thing.
Definitely looking forward to trying some different ones in it, though. So I'm going to start looking around for other molds. See what my new baby likes. Though I don't want her to spit up. I want the formula to be nice and settling for her.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is that? M1A? Is that what weight are you talking about? I think I know what you're talking about, but I use those too. They feed and function and cycle great in the ARs I got. G23.
I bet it's that 311 410, that little 135
Probably.
grain.
That's what I was thinking.
G doesn't like ARs.
He don't like 30 cal ARs.
He only likes them 40 cal high points.
There's Chuck. What's up, Bulldog? And M.C. We're not exactly new, man. We coming up on our 5th anniversary pretty soon in May, I think. A couple months away.
He must have been over at Hillbilly's chat and come over here.
Yeah. I think he
I
just
had
means
people coming.
new
So
chat
I'm just
in.
putting up. I copied the link on your guys's, and then I'm posting it on my chat so people can just click on that and come right over. So I hope that works for everybody.
It's pretty
Yeah,
cool
good
seeing
idea.
this gap being bridged over the last course of the year or so with foreign and domestic. You had barbecue guns and barbecues chat, and you have all these other smaller chats kind of connecting the dots between us all. We're starting to see people of all sorts in here and keeping everybody unified. It's pretty neat.
Betcha.
It is, man. You're right, Mark. It is really nice to see.
Yep. I think Chris from the 740's done a lot in that market. He's
Yes, sir.
he has really pushed it and drove it, and yeah.
Well, that's what we were trying to accomplish when we started this stream.
Well, it came. We did our part. It just took a while.
Yeah, I think you're talking about that same bullet. I could
Yeah.
probably go there and find one.
Yeah,
The
those are
7.62.
good stuff. That 311 359 works great too, guys. If anybody needs any, let me know. I'll cast some up and send them.
You've got a nice one from with a flat point on it there. Accurate or Arsenal or one of them.
Yeah, that's another one I've got. It's 150 grainer.
150-ish, yeah.
Yeah, Arsenal. Tom over at Arsenal Molds or Accurate Molds. Sorry, but I've had him custom made that and did a good job.
There's Stacy Dalton. Welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Glad to have you here.
Got to run down through the side chat here, Jamie.
Yeah, we got a.
So Timmy, there was a question up there that I had posted up from Tactical Flood Buck about how much you can size a bullet before you have to step down in sizing. It's going to depend on your alloy. You're going to find that some alloys you're only going to want a couple thousandths, whereas other ones you can push that to probably twice that. But generally, if you're going to go more than 3 or 4 thousandths, you're probably going to need to change your size.
So, I know we kind of touched on this a little. I think it was last week or maybe a couple weeks ago. So I got the 38 for the wife, and I'm really thinking about doing like a double-ended wad cutter, for like a self-defense load, or would a single-ended wad cutter be better? You guys think?
Well, the only difference, one's a button nose and one's a, well, there's 3 types. There's a hollow base, there's a button nose, and then there's a double-ended. Really 6 of one, half dozen the other, unless you're going to use the hollow base and spin it around backwards.
Yeah, the only real advantage I ever saw with the double-ended ones is it doesn't matter which way you put them through the sizer.
or
load them.
That's the only big thing about those when you're loading a lot and you're loading in a progressive. If you're coming through the tumbler, the bullet feeder, it doesn't matter where they go. That's what makes them so great. Other than that, there's really no advantage to them.
Well, I did see like Minuteman Munitions out of Washington State, where they're using 2 double-ended wad cutters in a single shell, in a single case. And so they're stacking them on top, so you have 2 projectiles coming out of it instead of a single projectile.
They're not so popular anymore, but Lyman cataloged them for years for a number of calibers, 38, 44, 45, and they were light for caliber double-ended wad cutters designed just for that. Or for a different bullet, you could put one under a semi-wad cutter. And you could get 2 bullets.
I forget the mold number, but there was one that cast, I think it's for 38. It was like a 74 grain wad cutter, and then they're designed to stack in a duplex load.
Yep, they made them in 44s, 45s, 38s, probably a few other calibers, but they just aren't popular anymore, so you don't hear about them. I don't know if they probably don't catalog them anymore, but you can still pick them up. They're just a little harder to find, but you could probably have them cut from one of the other manufacturers if you really wanted something like that.
So, Rebel's working on his groundhog shoot thing coming up here. We need to have him on next week and let him talk about that. That's a big deal.
Jamie, can I address something I sent Anne Marie? She joined on my side, and I told her to click the link, and Oh, she popped over here and she's like, "So, who's showing on now?" And so this is Georgia Shooting Connection, and for anybody else that come through that back door, basically, great channel. You need to check it out. You need to subscribe. And I'm sure most of these people on this panel and in the side chat are very familiar. So,
Anne Marie, we're here most every Friday night, dear. Come on in when you're free.
I used to have one of those cups, but I passed it on down the line to Mr. Tim S., who really wanted one, and I was like, "Here you go, bud."
I
That
think
was
you
awesome.
can still
Gee.
get them if you get in touch with GGW
W
Outdoors.
Outdoors, yeah. I think Joe still got some.
Everybody, please forgive me. Supper was late. I've been struggling. Everybody type in 3030 in the side chat, and I will call out your name on YouTube.
Well, I'll just say 38 instead of 3030. It's shorter.
You know, some people always gotta
Yeah.
cause trouble, and I can't keep up with them. Bulldog needs one of those cups. We got
I should get a
Mr.
hold of myself.
Walter, CW, Vanessa Kitty, Reloader 762, Andy 79Z28. You've been quiet out there, brother. Bobby Barlow,
New York.
Bad, Trees Are Blowing, Tactical Fud, Glenn Davis, Dwayne 7834, Mark Thomas, Georgia Shooting Connection, Hillbilly Up, Vanessa Kitty, James Pugh, Lakeview Outdoors, Walks Fletcher, Mike Hester, The Rebel, Tommy Boy, Andre D'Angelo, 01 Guy, Tim S., Six Shooter Texan, Krabby Turtle, Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog, Pony _47, Tactical Fud, Mark Thomas, Tim S., Walks Fletcher, 3855. Can't go wrong with that. Georgia Trapping and Fishing, Floridian, Edward Petty, Ms. Hotshot, Quiet is Good, Life is Good. Andy's listening, busy reloading. There's a whole lot worse thing you could be doing, Andy. Like
Not
drag
reloading.
or
I knew you were going
paying
to say
taxes.
drag race.
GGW Outdoors. Just man, we were talking about.
Yeah, I need
GGW,
another.
can you still get some Willie Bullet Man cups?
I need one to mine crack. What is it about them cups, man?
There's
We
balls.
use them hard, man.
I was using mine every day, and I just barely bumped the rim of it, and it put a fracture down, 2 fractures down it, like a pyramid, upside down.
I've used mine every day since it came in the mail.
I did too, until I just sat it in the sink and I put something else in the sink, and I just bumped the rim of it and it cracked it. And I didn't even notice it. I put a couple.
Is it a porcelain sink?
No, stainless sink.
Oh, okay. Sometimes glass to glass makes that frequency happen.
Yeah, it could have been one of our dinner plates, because it probably was. But I put coffee in it the next morning. Come out here and sat in my chair, put my coffee down. Next thing I know, there was a wet spot. I was like, what's going on here? I didn't spill it when I set it down.
Oh no.
Picked it up, and you can start to see the dark, the coffee line on it. It's like, oh man.
It's got a good enamel on it. It's got good color and everything. So
Don't be showing off.
tell him, GW.
My wife broke a bullet that Nathan sent. A coffee cup that Nathan sent me a long time ago, and my first Willie cup about a week apart. So
that's what that Flex Seal tape's for.
So,
You know, I need to get another TRN cup, the Reloaders Network cup, because somebody put it in the dishwasher and stripped it clean of its, well, almost clean of its picture on it. Yeah,
Logo. There you go. Yep.
she put it in the dishwasher and destroyed the logo.
back to our original topic. I was telling, no, seriously, don't run off, Walter. I got. This is good stuff.
Did you see that black squirrel?
The This is the thing that struck me, and what I think me and CW really wanted to dig into tonight about the. There's Ozark Spirit. Sorry about your hogs, man. I was hoping they were coming back on whoever Yukon. Anyway, um, one of the things that kind of blew my dress up about what Hillbilly's presumption was in offering this topic is, what if we don't have our books? And I'm like, if I don't have my books, I probably ain't gonna be doing no whole lot. I'm not gonna unless I'm sure of what I'm doing. I'm not going to do it. But and we can talk. CW's got a couple of videos where he distraculates how to come up with low data based on
What? Distraculates. Okay.
Yeah, that's wonderful thing about English. You can make up your own words.
Hey, it sounded good to me.
I like it. I'm going to use it.
Distractolate.
I got some distraculating I need to get done right quick.
We just don't want too many discrepancies, and we'll be all right.
Right. We're good, Ozark. Bald 3030 is the original 300 blackout. Think about it. And there's Dave Thorzak's welcome in, buddy. But yeah, and one of the things I told him, and I think most of us got these, and that's what I told him. If I have a load, I put this in every load. Put one of these in every test load, and the ones that have good results, I'll hold on to the cards, and of course, it also goes in a notebook like this, So basically, if I had all my reloading manuals and all my notebooks, they're in one filing cabinet drawer over there, and it's starting to spill out. So data is very important. You just can't do. I mean, there's always going to be some form of data that you can build on and build from, but to just go in blind like that, like a new caliber. And one of the things CW pointed out was, when that first load data come out for 350 Legend, it was about that much of it, in your die set, and we didn't know how accurate it was or how safe it was. And I think one of the things CW wanted to talk about was this 360 buck camera that's coming out. Where's the data on that? I think one of the things that's going to be an improvement for that, I think Hornady. Is that Hornady? No, that's a Remington project, and they do more reloading type stuff. Winchester was behind the 350 Legend, and they had the opportunity to do everything that the buck hammer is going to do, but they dropped the ball, in my opinion. But yeah, these load cards, put them in your boxes with your reloads. If you like them, you got it to go. Hodgson brand powders have a little bit of reloading data. So does Shooter's World. They have a little bit of data on the bottle when you buy it, which is really cool.
That's the thing about those Lee Classic loaders. They have that page with the Lee dippers that corresponds. So that's a good.
Yeah.
If you got those.
Well, even the new Lee die sets have that little insert in there. You open it up and it tells you the
right.
dipper.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a
And,
great
you
thing to
got to
have.
like that.
That's a good, definitely good starting points for everything.
Mhm.
There's a number of companies that offer a book for you too, for recording all your data. And what you can do is you can make up your own sheet, which is what I've done forever. There's Lever Guns
Me too.
50. Hey, man, good to see you.
Hey, Lever Guns, what's up, buddy?
But there's a few data manuals out there. You can get them for pretty inexpensive prices.
Mhm.
I know Lyman helps you get one or produces one, but there's a bunch of different companies. I want to say that company that makes the MTM, maybe I think it's MTM, offers one as well, and it's just pretty much pages with lines on them with places to put in what you normally would. Brand of case, brand of powder, amount of powder, weight of bullet, yada yada yada, all that good stuff, and then place for notes. And what I do is I've made up my own, and I number them. So I'm up in the 20,000s from when I've started, and it's great to look back on. You can just put that number on your box of shells, and you can go back and reference that at any time from anywhere. If you got that data, and if you put it in the computer, you can even access it better. You can share it and everything else. But Jamie was talking about new cartridges and how do you extrapolate, which is the word I like to use, to get data. And the safest way I know how to do it, and that I will advise others, is you want to look at case volume, and you want to look at the pressure, and you want to look at the caliber. So if you can line those three things up, in the case of the 350 Legend, what I looked at was a previous favorite of mine, which was the 357 Maximum. So there's lots of 357 Maximum data out there. Most manuals have it or have had it. And the nice thing about it is it's the same caliber, roughly. It's got less case volume, so it holds less powder, and it's loaded to lower pressures. So right off the bat, every single load that was offered for a 357 Maximum is going to be safe in a 350 Legend. Now, being a 350 Legend is a semi-auto, it may or may not function in the action because you need a certain pressure level in order to function that action. But you're going to be a safe data that you can work up from if you know how to read pressure signs of your cartridges. Pressure signs it's an artwork. It's something that's definitely learned, and it's not something you should be experimenting with without having some knowledge. So how do you get knowledge unless you do things? My best advice to you is a mentor, somebody who's been there and done that, or can figure it out accurately from experience. So what you like to see, or what I kind of chuckle about when I see on YouTube videos, is brass swipe, ejector swipe. It's a common term that you'll hear from a lot of guys, and what it comes from AR actions or any other action that has a rotating bolt, and the extractor is usually a spring-loaded little button that's in the back of the case, so it's pushing on the back of the base of the case where the printing is, and what happens is the pressure is still quite high when you fire the cartridge. It's glued to the walls of your chamber, yet that action is such that when that gas reaches that port, it's going to push that bolt back no matter what. For that bolt to come back, it's got to turn. So the pressure is still up, holding the brass in the chamber, but that bolt's coming back, so that bolt head is turning. It makes a swipe. It only happens when you have higher pressure loads in that action. But I'll watch guys with a bolt action rifle saying, "Oh, well, it's not too high. I don't have an ejector swipe."
Wrong.
You can't get one. It doesn't. You can't get that. You can't be that fast with the bolt. So I just kind of chuckle at those kind of things. It's a little bit of knowledge, but the wrong application of it. Also, I like to correct everybody because I'm not being a stickler so much as I'm trying to be safe, and that is everybody knows to look at primers and say, "Oh, that primer's flat. That's hot." Primer is the least accurate thing you can look at to know what pressure is in a cartridge. Least accurate. And the reason for that is none of them are the same. They're all made of different thicknesses. They're all made for different pressure levels. You don't know what that primer is when it's in that case, like on the floor, just fired in your gun, unless you put it in there. And then even then, if you're not knowledgeable to know that certain brands of primers are either overly soft or overly thin, what you're going to get. For instance, Remington used to make a little bitty 1.5 primer, and it was a nice light little primer that they used in the Hornets and really light low pressure cartridges. Well, if you ever stuck that in, let's say, well, what could we put it in? 350 maximum, 357 maximum, or 350 legend. You would think you've got the hottest load in the world because it's designed for 15,000 cup and you're running at 50. Or let's say it was a light load, you're running at 40. You're still running at 4 times what that primer was designed to work at. Mm-hmm. So you think that's going to be a flat primer? Darn tootin' it will be, and you won't be in a hot.
You didn't poke a hole in it.
So, the primers are very inaccurate to look at on their own to say I've got high pressure or low pressure or no pressure. There's a few times you'll also find that most primers, except for those really, really soft ones, most average primers, you're not even going to see pressures, flattened primers, pressure evidence in most other primers, normal primers, until you get up above 35, 37,000 cup. And there's some cartridges that don't even run that high. So if you're running 38 special, you're saying, oh, I'm fine, I'm not getting flat primers. You could be totally wrong. You could be running way more pressure than you're supposed to and never get a flat primer, because the 38 special runs at much lower pressure. It's around 19,000 cup. That's never going to flatten a primer, or your average primer. It's not going to, unless you're going to be using those like 1.5s. So primers are very poor on their own face value to choose for pressure levels. So back on the topic, which was cartridges we don't have data for. So you look at common cartridges that have about the same pressures or less pressures, are about the same bullet diameter, but most importantly, have about the same case volume. And you can extrapolate what will be safe based on that.
Right. And somebody was talking about, I think it was Tommy Boy, talking about emailing Shooter's World.
Yeah.
Back when I was doing the 35 Remington load series, I wanted to do buffalo rifle, and they didn't have any data for buffalo rifle and 35 Remington. And I called them up, and they said, well, hold on, I'll send you to the ballistics department. And I sat there on the phone for about 25 minutes with their head of ballistics, and that was really cool. He told me some really cool stuff about Shooter's World stuff that I've shared with y'all before. And Tactical Fudd was asking me, do I still use the brass prep checklist? I have one right here that I just filled out right before we started. So, yeah, I use that alone. I've got quite a few of those printed up.
Yep. Good call.
That link that Reloader 762 put up there was for a printable reload data card, pretty much like this. So, yeah, you can order these from the Reloaders Network if you want to go over there and pay for them, but and that will help their community out pretty good, I'm sure. But at the same time, there's a
You can also put your favorite apple pie recipe on the back too, couldn't you?
You probably could.
Could somebody drop a link out in the chat for the Reloaders Network for people who may not be very familiar with them?
It's just the reloadersnetwork.com. I mean, you just got to spell it out.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. They got a little place on Discord too.
A lot of these guys y'all see over here, like this guy, the Rebel, and Tread, and Charlie Irby, all them guys. I can't wait to get retired so they can, so I can go just type little messages all day long, reload, cast bullets, powder coat, send them pictures. Yeah, man, they have their own community over there doing their own thing, and it's pretty fun. It's really cool if y'all up to go hang out with them some. Um, what else do we want to talk about tonight?
So I think where Hillbilly was coming from on his topic was, um, like you'll hear a lot of some people talking about um, getting their information offline and not going and pulling it straight from um, an actual manual. And so, if your power is out, you may not be able to pull those same information from online. But like everyone's saying, is you should always have um, books, the reloading manuals, plus if you have a favorite load for your certain guns, you want to make sure you have those written down on what performs best for your high point 10 millimeter yeet cannon.
Um, yeah, and I think we covered a lot of stuff. I was thinking maybe kind of like a list. I mean, like I'm not a loader, but I would like to know this if I would start loading. Kind of a list of a few things that a person would need, or what to actually something come like that. So you know, you talked about like scales. So there's probably not a whole lot of people that don't have, or most people's probably got digital scales. You know, uh, if you got a digital, gauge, or calipers, stuff like that. And also, Jamie, you had said something that night when we was talking about um, pan lubing and stuff like that. That's something I had never heard anybody really talking about much, or any of that stuff. And so, yeah, I was just kind of curious if that was to happen. What would kind of people need, or maybe on hand, in case that come up to where you had a hand press, or whatever the case might be.
I think that most folks who have been reloading for even a little while, provided that you're keeping records in your own load data book, of all your loads and stuff. However you want to make a form or something. Every load that I make it goes in that book, whether it's a good one or bad one, and I make notes about it and say, it might say, "Don't ever do this one again. It's a waste of time."
No good.
And most of our equipment is manual and not electric. There are some electric pieces and parts, as we've talked about here and there. You might have an electronic powder dispenser, and your case tumbler might be electric, and a couple other things, but you don't have to use all of those. All of our heavy hitting equipment, the press, the dies, beam balances, all that stuff is all manually operated. It doesn't require any power at all. You just got to be able to see, and you need to have your own records and the manual, and I've got 50 manuals, maybe more than that. I got a whole bunch of them, old ones, new ones. If you're a bullet caster, sooner or later you're going to come across a mold that hasn't been made for a long time, and it's not in Lyman's manual, and RCBS didn't even put one out anymore, but they have in the past. And so you get one of those old manuals, and you start collecting these older legacy manuals, ones that haven't been published for a while, and they're going to have that mold in it with some data for you to start with. So that's another kind of a tip there. If you get a chance to get some of those older reloading manuals, particularly the ones that have cast bullet stuff in it,
Yeah,
handy.
absolutely. Um, if you're going to cast, the absolute must is that Lyman Cast Bullet Handbook, and I think. And
Mm-hmm.
the more experience we get, the more of these books we buy, the more informed we are. And yeah, we need to do a show, Hillbilly, on what we need to get started reloading. Absolute bare minimums, and you can add other stuff as you go. But one thing you do not need is a Lee safety scale.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, nobody needs that. Well, they
You
make
need
good targets.
you need two then. You don't
Yeah,
need one. You need two.
Yeah,
I like
kind of
what
like a guy needs two hats like this, right?
It's going
I
to
like
feel
what
so
Hillbilly
good blowing the
touched on.
first one up. You're going to want to do it again.
How does it go? One is none and two is one.
Yes.
I like what Hillbilly touched on. Yeah, there's all kinds of digital gizmos and gadgets, but you do need and know how to operate a old beam style scale, and also know how to read a manual set of dial calipers. I mean, I've got multiple sets of calipers. I've probably got 7 of them. I've got micrometers. I mean, I've got all this stuff, and I know how to read them. And there's a lot of people that have them and they don't have a clue what that gauge is telling them. So learn how to use the old school stuff and get you some old school stuff. And I mean, think about it. Your press is already manual, so um, you just need a good balance beam scale that you know how to operate, and a set of calipers that you know how to read. Everything else is just gravy.
this brings up a good point. Yeah, and I agree, Kyle. Having those tools is one thing. Knowing how to use them is another. I just yes. Um, yeah, I lost my thought. Yeah, but we need to do a show on the absolute basics. Uh, this is one. This is where I was going. This is my regular. These are Hornady dial calipers. I mean, they're not that expensive. You can get them, and I've broken probably 2 pair. All right, this is a cheapo set of Harbor Freight calipers. They work on a battery. They're digital. And guess what? I was trying to do some 6.5 Creedmoor for our trip. Mash the on button. Look what happens. Absolutely nothing. The battery's dead. So I'm going to take this Hornady stuff off of this one and put it on my backup scales that I have not used yet, which is Cabela's dial. You really need those dial calipers, guys. I can't stress enough to get a good set of dial calipers and learn how to use them. So let me do this. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that, Hillbilly. You're wrong for that, Bulldog. Oh, yeah, and Ozarks addressed it earlier, but don't don't just go on one set of load data. Cross reference that stuff. Tommy Boy said it too, I think. Cross reference your data, and I'm going to email that to myself. Uh,
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. If you pick up a Hornady's manual, for example, and look at load data for a particular round, and Hornady's manual is all about their own bullets. They don't do anybody else's bullets. But then you go over to the Lyman manual for the same round, using a Hornady bullet, the same bullet, an XCP bullet, and the data is different.
Yep. That's the biggest reason that I always recommend Lyman to everybody. It's not about brand loyalty. It's just about the fact that Lyman doesn't make powder. They don't make bullets. They don't make primers. So they list everybody else's. And to be something desirable, they're going to use stuff that's popular, stuff that people want to use and are using. So it's your best option for a first manual because it's going to probably cover what you're going to try and load. Yeah. Once you establish and you have some favorites, you find out that, hey, all I'm using is Hornady bullets. Well, buy a Hornady manual. Sierra, buy a Sierra. Spear, buy a Spear. Buy all of them. You're going to end up with all of them at some point anyway if you like this hobby and you keep going with it because you're going to want to have as much data as you can find.
Exactly.
All right. We had all right, I'm getting there, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. See if I can do this. I want to say congratulations to our brother, that guy. He got his canceled. His whole channel was deleted about 6 months ago, and he is already passed me up, and not just me, but got 1,000 subscribers this week.
Yeah, thanks to everybody.
Awesome job, CW. It's awesome, buddy.
I've been watching it. It's been stuck at like 990. I saw it 994, and it's like I blinked, and now it's like 1,007 or something like that. So it's yeah, pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to leave that up there where I can't see, Anna. Okay, so we gotta come up with a question. This is a powder measure holder, handmade by our brother, Mr. Mock. So we gotta come up with a question and how to give it away. We're going to give this away to somebody tonight to celebrate. And we might can find some more stuff too, but we're going to have to hurry because we're running short of time.
So why don't you just use the StreamYard giveaway tool?
Because I've never done that before.
Open a second tab, type in StreamYard /giveaway,
James.
And then you just, it's easy to use, and then you just screen share.
MC, you could just set that scoop right in that, top there, and it'll hold that scoop just fine. Yeah, I think it'll work for that. Guys, I made that up just out of some stuff at work. I'm going to make another one and send it out so it'll look similar, if not just exactly the same.
Nice and simple. It looks like got plenty of room for your loading tray under it, too.
Right. And I would suggest a small pinch clamp or something. It may be okay by itself with the heavier, Lyman Brass Smith or the unit flow from your RCBS, but flipping that lever up and down, I'd probably want to clamp it or some kind of, hold down. So, but a lot of guys will take those and tap them into an old iron, 5 or 10 pound weight, and then that's perfect. I've got one set up like that. Takes up a lot of room, but you can move it around. It's mobile too, so it's not a permanent fixture, but it definitely comes in handy.
Okay, what do we want to type in for this? How about hashtag CW1K?
There it is. I like it.
Perfect. There you go, just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hole in the middle is a little overkill. It's just a sheet of metal I found. I didn't put it there. It was already there.
Okay. We have another picture with it. I didn't want to use the other picture because it would be like the comment was Uniflow not included.
Just put it up there. It's like to see a demo. They know they ain't getting the Uniflow with it unless I can find a good deal on one. But no, it doesn't come with the Uniflow. Just like anything else, accessories not included. I mean, you never know what you're going to get.
Also got 3 boxes of bullets. Okay. How many more how long do we need to, how long we need to give them, G23?
As long as you want. All I have to do is screen share it. How many people are out in the side chat right now? Can anyone? Because I'm on my mobile, so I can't see any of that information.
Mine says
51 here. 55
Yeah,
that's
on
what I
the
see.
screen.
I got 51.
So how many people have entered? It should tell you on the screen. It'll
We
tell
got-
you like 35 entered
22 entries.
out of 51.
There's a few more
I'm
now.
showing we got 56 folks.
Yeah. So if you're over on Hillbilly's channel watching this and you put in the hashtag, it's not going to count. You're going to have to hit the link, come over to the Georgia Shooting Connection chat, and put the hashtag in there for it to work. So otherwise, you're not going to be entered and stuff. So I don't know, give it a minute or two longer. So say 9:25.
Yeah.
If
And now also like
and then
I
share
don't-
your screen and roll the dice.
Yeah. And I don't, since I don't reload, I'm not entering. So but nobody's typed it in on my side except for Dale Pogue asked what was the hashtag. So Dale, hopefully you can see it there, and you were linked to this here to Georgia Shooting Connection, so it should show up. If it don't, look, you need to click on that link.
See, I want to type it in so they'll show it, but if I do, I'll be entered.
Yeah, it's
So-
the same with me.
Jamie, just hit
Re-roll.
your screen share. Hit your screen share and it will pop up on the screen what they need to type in. So this way you don't have to actually type it in out in the chat. It will be right on the screen for everybody to see.
That would be that one. How about
William
that?
popped in.
Hashtag CW1K.
There we go.
Max pressure for 30-06 would be about 60,000 psi, I believe.
As long as you're not loading it in a Garand.
There's a big difference there. Yes, sir.
Grand's going to be what, about
10,000 less
48?
than that. Yeah.
Bald and curious, what weight of a 38 bullet are you wanting? Because I'm sure plenty of people are jumping in on that. Let us know what you need, and we'll get you started.
I didn't
Yeah,
see
I
what
got-
he typed in. It zipped right by. Everything's going so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Bald, you need to text or email me your mailing address.
Send it to me, Jamie. I'll give him some. I got a lot of 38s loaded up. If you prefer a weight, let me know what you want there too.
Well, he don't know what he wants. That's the purpose.
I got you. If he's got something in mind, we can either detailed or just throw a bunch at him.
So I'll say this about that. It
Gotcha.
is he needs all different weights for testing. Bear in mind now, Bald, you're shooting a single action army clone. You don't want to get too high on pressures. Okay. M1 is 50,000. Okay, so that ain't that bad a difference. Okay, are y'all ready to do this? Anybody else?
Send it.
Okay.
Crank that thing up.
Are y'all ready for this? We're up to
As ready as
30.
we'll ever be.
Yeah, you gained a few just right there at the end, didn't you?
A few, yeah. Here we go.
Krabby Turtle.
All right.
Nice. Congratulations, Krabby.
Congratulations, man.
So reach out to Georgia Shooting Connection, send your email, and I will get that finished up and send that out to you. Awesome.
It's
I have his email address, Mock. I can send it to you.
There you go. All right.
I'm sorry, guys. I had some minor technical difficulties. Had to restart and start over.
Made it
Okay.
back. That's good.
all right. Let's go back over here. Let me stop sharing. Let me go back over here and
That's okay, Kyle. I have technical difficulties and I need to be around a computer, buddy.
let's just do the same thing, and I'll just hit draw again. And anybody else, we're going to give you until 9:35, and I'm going. If it's okay with Walter, I'm going to give away a box of 22 caliber 69 grain hollow point boat tails and a box of Barnes MLE military law enforcement lead free tactical bullets. These are 55 grain RRLP FP, 1 and 9 twist or faster. What does that mean?
Light penetration.
RRLP
Put it up
FB.
there, Jamie. I'll make you big. Hold on. Do it again. Oh, Barnes has some funny things they put on there.
Right. 55 grain RRLP FB.
FP is probably flat base.
Probably. Anyway, so if you load 223, we got 2 boxes of bullets coming your way. And these are good ones. Barn makes good stuff, but Sierra is probably my favorites. I like Hornady too, but I tend to like the Sierras a little more better. What do y'all think?
Yeah, bring it on. Sounds good.
Okay.
Now, can he just hit that again, or does he need to add the people that? Because I see a couple more entries. How does that work?
They'll if they just type in that same thing, they'll be
Yeah.
they'll
So
be
if you didn't enter the first one, just type in the same thing, and that number
Okay.
should rise. Jamie, do you see it rising? It
So
was
the
at
contest
31.
doesn't end; it stays open. Okay, that makes sense. Or the
Yeah,
roll.
as long as he doesn't close it out, but the number may not go up. I mean, you may not physically see the number go up unless you like would to redo the whole thing. But the name
I
should
don't-
automatically go in there.
No, I don't believe. Like, if I type it in right now, since I didn't join the first one, it should go up. Otherwise, it's not working. You have to do like another one, part 2 or whatever. Like, just change the name, and everybody'd have to re-add. But I'm pretty sure it still keeps collecting them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it will still keep collecting, but the ticker may not. Like, if it said like 35, it may not go up to 40, but it'll still put the names in there. You just won't see that the 5 new people added the names.
y'all making me work tonight.
Well, yeah. That's what you get for starting this.
I guess it is, ain't it? Can't do it for a better bunch of people, right?
There you go.
It's all
All
your
right.
fault. It's all your fault. We enjoy Friday nights here. How dare you?
I had somebody new jump in on my side, Coozer. So they're having a giveaway, and so type in hashtag CW1K, and it should show up there on the link and get you entered in that. And anybody else that wants to join.
All right, so there's the link to CW's channel.
I think the cold air is getting to that boy in Michigan right now.
I'm staying out of the drawing because I'm on the panel.
Is that?
So just remember, if you're in Hillbilly's chat, you need to hit the link that takes you over to Georgia's Shooting Connection before you put the hashtag in. Because if you put it in on Hillbilly's chat, it won't collect the information.
Yeah, I'm watching them, buddy.
Okay, Idaho Rogers got here late. CW hit 1,000 subscribers this week, and we just gave away a nice powder measure stand that Mark made, MCK, and I'm about to give away 2 boxes of 223 bullets. Actually, that says 224, which is the actual diameter. I got a box of Barnes. These are 55 grain. These would be they're like lead free, so that'd be California compliant. And these are Sierra Match 69 grain hollow point bolt tail. So that would be cool. I think I'm going to enter. The thoughts of trying some of those 69 grain Sierra Match Kings that's kind of cool. So yeah, y'all go over and sub CW and drive him up a little more. So really and truly, if you get drawn and you don't reload 223, just tell us and we'll redraw for somebody else. So if these are going to do you no good, don't let's not waste the Lord's provision.
Yep. That's the reason why I'm not entering it. This is one, I'm on the panel, and two, I don't do 223. So
223 would do you.
762 by 39.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah, okay.
In an
And
AR
not
platform.
and not in a commie.
I beat you to it, G. You're good.
That AR platform. I don't know why somebody was having a bad dream and put that thing out there. When I'm in the side chat, I'll be okay to type that out, but I'm not going to say what I normally call it
because it's wrong.
Yes, it is very wrong. It should never have been introduced to the AR platform. I mean, you take something that's amazing and then you screw it up by putting it on an AR platform.
No, you took something that was okay and made it amazing.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
I got a buddy with the AK platform in 223. What's that? That's a pretty awesome gun there.
But that's been around for a long time.
I can't have it one way, not the other, mister.
Yep.
Reduced ricochet, limited penetration. That explains everything, G.
That sounds like something Barnes would put on there.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for High Point to come out with an AR and AK.
Right.
There you
That's
go.
going to be so heavy and bulky. Oh, boy.
Need a wheelbarrow to carry that thing around the woods.
It'll look like a Mongoose.
Yeah, it'd be a mongoose for a wagon.
You and I both need 44 caliber bullets.
Oh yeah, me and Jamie both need those. We got 44s coming. Well, I got mine. He's got his coming.
Tim S got it. It's an abomination.
Jamie, I can hook you up with 44 caliber bullets. Just come over by the house next time you're down this way.
Cool, man.
Me and Jamie going to both show up with 5-gallon buckets.
I don't know that I got that many.
Tactical? Yes, I do. You need some? Let me know. I've got the True Soup can without the button on it and some with the button. So let me know which mold you want them from. If that's what you're asking, I guess I better be sure that's what you want.
Yeah, because I don't know what a soup can semi-wad cutter is.
It looks like
Unless
a
it's
soup can with the lube grooves.
That's something we need to address, and we're overdue to make this drawing.
Send it.
Go ahead, BAO. Answer this question for Mr. Chase.
Okay, so in California, we have a list of acceptable firearms that are approved for sale within the state as new firearms. And if the firearm's not on that roster, you can't buy it new. And there's a couple things on that list of approved features that aren't available. 3 of the features, besides some of the safety drop tests and stuff, are that a firearm has to have a loaded chamber indicator, it has to have a magazine disconnect, and it has to have a method of engraving the case with a special number, like a laser engraved etching on the inside of the chamber or something, so that if a casing was left behind, law enforcement could figure out where that case came from. Well, that technology doesn't exist. So most manufacturers like Colt and Smith & Wesson and even Ruger with their semi-autos, they're not importing to California anymore. The only firearms you can have from those companies are legacy firearms. that have not changed since they were originally placed on the roster. Well, the Supreme Court decided last week that those features of the roster were unconstitutional, and so there is a waiting period now that we're in to give the state time to come back and appeal that decision, which they will, and it'll take some time before those limitations are removed from California's roster system. And if it comes to fruition, if they do that, then we can go buy. The manufacturers will be able to ship more firearms to our FFLs here in the state. But I can't go buy a high point 10 millimeter. I can't go buy most of the firearms that Gene has up there. they're not legit here in the
Walter,
state.
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
The purpose of that engraving, your bullets, so that like they know you personally bought them. So, I assume this is a case in case a criminal steals somebody's gun and they use their own bullets and leave a case behind.
But the criminals are just going to use the revolver, or pick
Right.
up the
That's
rest.
where its flaw is.
It's just another stupid California. Well, it's not stupid on their part. They did that intentionally to reduce the number of firearms coming into the state. There's another provision on that roster that says for every new firearm that's approved for the roster, 3 have to drop off.
Yeah, I've seen
That's in
that.
California's roster.
What I don't get, how is it if the Supreme Court ruled that's unconstitutional and they have to change it? There should be no right for appeal because it is a Supreme Court ruling. That's it. That's the end of the line.
Good point.
Well, Gene, it was a district court judge that made the ruling, and now the Attorney General Bonta has 2 weeks to appeal the decision to the 9th. And then if they don't do it within 2 weeks, then California gets what will be another Freedom Week. And the micro stamping or engraving, if you want, one would have to be on the firing pin to put the serial number of the firearm, and plus your extractor or the breech face would have to then also stamp the case in another location. So it has to be on the case in 2 different locations. And even if they put that stuff in there, you would have to be redoing that about every 100 to 500 rounds. You'd have to get a new firing pin with your firearm's serial number and a new, wherever they decide, if they put it on the extractor or if they put it on your breech face or if they put wherever they decide that they're going to put that second location, both of those parts would have to then be replaced every 100 to 500 rounds.
Yeah, and so the manufacturers have said, you know what, we're just
got to get that giveaway going.
Yeah,
this is why we try to stay away from politics. We
Yeah, we had a runaway train, buddy.
Yeah. So we'll get back to this if we have time. Go ahead, Hillbilly.
Yeah, Jamie, I know you only you get off here by 9. Is that correct? Or try
Your
to?
time.
Yeah, my time. I'm sorry. So what I would like to do, to celebrate CW's big deal, I would also like to give away one of these knives that I give away on my channel all the time. So same deal. If you can just roll it twice, the second winner of the roll will win one of these. I'll send it to them. So,
all right,
that's okay with you
guys. We're up to 40 entries. Wow. Okay.
All right.
All right. This one is for 2 boxes of 223 Remington bullets. Here we go.
Woo-hoo. Hey,
Alter. All right, buddy.
I think we
Congrats,
probably
Walter.
draw.
I think we better pass that one forward.
All right.
Roll it again.
These are his bullets I'm giving away. So, all right.
There you go, Senior Master Sergeant.
Chuckster wins it.
Congratulations, buddy.
Congrats, Bulldog.
Nice Bulldog.
So I'll get these to you one way or another. I would love to hand deliver them. I would love some cafe au lait and beignets from New Orleans for a knife. Lakeview Outdoors, all right.
Congratulations, buddy.
Now we're talking. Way to go, Lakeview.
All right, so we got golly, I gotta write this stuff down.
At Lakeview, I just put my email. If you don't have it, it's on my about page, but I just put it in the side chat there. So if you can email me and what color you want, you got a choice of red, black, blue, and green, buddy.
Nice.
Blue. Blue is the only way to go.
I got the blue one.
G23, did you ever pick yours up from the post office?
Yes, didn't I?
All right.
Yeah, I
Okay.
yeah, it took a while because I was in the hospital when that came in.
All right, we need to do one more thing, and then we got to start. I need to address this question right here. Okay.
I answered it in the side chat.
Yeah, but I'm going to show him. All right. I dropped this, so it's all sticky and stuff. All right. This is a cast lead bullet for 44. All right. You see that red band at the bottom? That is traditional lube. All right. This groove right here is a crimp groove. That would equate to a cantilure, but I'll show you that in a minute. So that's where you want to roll your brass, and that's the lube groove. And if I got one that is not, here's one. This is just a random bullet I picked up. You can see that. See the lube groove? You got a crimp groove and a lube groove on that one as well. Come on, focus. Anyway, so
Let's get confusing.
this right here is a cantilure. The cantilure is visible on the bullet because it's below the brass is below it, and it ain't.
There you go.
That's it. That's good. It looks knurled, info.
Right.
Good
Jack and the
description.
bullet will look knurled, yes.
It's really just a series of little short lines that go all the way across go all the way around the bullet. So that's the difference between a lube groove and a cantilure, and then a crimp groove. So the crimp groove is much smaller.
Yeah, the
Can be
lube
really
groove's always
confusing,
going to be down there
especially
below
with
the cantilure or crimp groove. It's going to be down closer to the
With
base,
rifle.
and there might be more than one.
Yeah, with rifle you can have with multiple. Like one of the bullets that I just got for the 375 actually has 3 crimping grooves because it's designed for a few different calibers.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so
And they can have
cool.
multiple loop grooves too. Multiple loop grooves are not uncommon.
All right, let me get. Come on. All right, I want everybody to be able to see who we're talking to. Let's start going through the room. We'll get out of here and leave these nice folks alone. Let them enjoy their weekend. We'll clear the floor for Mr. Gizzard Gary coming up at 10 o'clock Eastern, the only time zone that matters. G23, welcome in, brother. Glad you could join us tonight. What you got coming up?
Oh, thanks again for the invite. And tomorrow I'll actually have 2 live streams. I'll have my normal at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern, and then I will be on a Great Start Shooting school with Brooke Cheney, talking about suicide awareness and prevention. And as soon as I get a link, probably here in the next hour, I will be posting that to my community tab, and then I'll be pinning the link in my live chat so that people can go over and watch that. It's a pre-recorded, but it's going to go as a premiere or on Saturday. So that'll be a great time to see everybody out there. And again, thanks for the invite and congrats, C-Dub, on 1K.
Thanks for being here, G. Mr. Hillbilly, what are you working on?
Well, man. First of all, I just want to say, thanks for having me on. Congratulations, CW. It's been side chat's been rocking and rolling. It's just been a blast to be on here. It is every Friday night. I just have some videos coming up, some more on the High Point GXP 10 millimeter, and then a few other little things coming up. We have our live chat tomorrow night on Hillbilly Up. It is called Beer, Guns, Beer, and Therapy. We just try to have a good time. The topics are just kind of all over the place. You never know what we're going to be talking about, but we just try to have a good time doing it. So if you ain't got nothing going on tomorrow night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern, come join us.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And for those of y'all who hadn't seen it, Hillbilly is we're having fun on Saturday nights. We really are. Anyway, thanks again, buddy. Mr. Mock, thanks for the giveaway, man.
Cornbread and honey.
You gonna be making any videos this week?
Oh, maybe. I'm doing some 8mm D-mill stuff and getting ready for the trip. I got to load some bullets. I might be bringing the more than capable Man Bun Creedmoor with me. A buddy of mine wants me to take it, so I'll get some loaded up for that. He's got a pet load already, so I'll just get some loaded as his specs say, and we'll have some fun with that old rifle. It's a Waypoint. I don't know if you've heard of those, but it's pretty neat. So I ain't got much going on. Just enjoying my weekend. So we'll pass it over to West Coast.
Well, first of all, thanks for the invitation to come and participate here, Georgia Shooting Connection. I always look forward to Friday nights and side chat. Good to interact with all you folks over there tonight too. Had a really good group, and it's good to see some of the folks from Hillbilly's channel coming over here and participating as well. That's kind of a good idea. I think we keep pulling that off. I got a few things coming up. We'll keep doing the Moldy Mondays, where I'm dragging some of my molds that have been sitting in the chest for a while and I've never used, and casting those up and showing you how they work, and then go shoot them. I have a brand new mold from Lee that they just introduced. It's a 356 147 TC. They never made that mold before, and they Titan Reloading just popped it today, so I ordered one, and that'll be coming in. And that one I'm going to just take through the whole process in a video of a brand new mold. How do you get it prepped, go cast it, take the bullets, and go shoot it, and actually do some casting videos so I can put it over there on Rumble, because we just haven't been able to do much casting here. And I got another firearm sitting in jail waiting for the 10-day period to elapse, so that'll be a surprise next week sometime. I'll show you that one. But that's what we got going on over here. Plenty happening with old Viejo. Hey, Gene.
What?
There he
What?
is.
Oh man!
What do you got going on?
Sorry, I was playing a Mark Thomas. No, not really. Hey, thanks for having me on tonight, Jamie. I really appreciate it. Panel, man, enjoy being on here every Friday night with you. Highlight of my week, I'm telling you. Side chat's always popping. Always popping, man. Them guys are crazy. What have I got going on? I got an IDPA match tomorrow. Then I'll be working the rest of the weekend. Got some videos planned to make. I got some in the hot pot cooking. But other than that, thanks for having me on. Greatly appreciate it. CW, congratulations on the 1,000. Man, that's phenomenal. Oh, man. Life is good. Life is good. But always remember to live, love, laugh, and reload.
Thanks for being here, Gene. I'm trying to type. Oh, yeah. We are, a few of us are getting together up there. Yeah. I don't care who you are. I love all of y'all. Jiffy Mix ain't cornbread. I'm sorry. It just ain't. And because I love you, I tell you these things because I don't want you to be mistaken. So there's that. Kyle Lusk, what's going on, brother? You doing anything this coming week?
The Grand Cornbread Wizard has just spoken. CW, congratulations on 1,000.
Thanks, man.
Walter, I love the Moldy Mondays. I've actually got one that I got from a member of the panel that I have yet to cast with. I might do a video on that. I've also, Jamie, if I may, I have an announcement.
Go for it.
Are you okay with that?
If you're comfortable with it.
I'm comfortable with it. Everybody in the panel and everybody in the side chat, I'm officially engaged.
Woohoo!
Right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, buddy.
I still like Walter's reaction.
Do what?
I still like Walter's reaction. Before we went live, Kyle said, I'm engaged. Walter says, for what?
Is that going to stick when you let her out of the basement, buddy?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to. I got a padlock on the door. I appreciate everybody in the side chat tonight, as I do every Friday night. I appreciate every member of the panel. It's been a wild week, but apparently tomorrow I got to cast up some 44 Magnum bullets.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I believe I got a little 44 casting to do myself.
I don't know if Jamie wants to stop by the house, but he's got some other stuff stopped by the house for, so we might can knock everything out in one little foul swoop.
All right, this is the thing. Kyle gets engaged, right? He asked this lady to marry him this week. Okay, then tonight he's fussing about chicken wings, and I'm like, there's going to be one flying across the yeah.
I got dibs on a Mosin, Kyle, when it comes to that time.
That time may be coming a lot quicker than you think if you keep complaining about chicken wings.
Right here, buddy. Right here.
Surprised if one of them went into my ear hole.
CW, congrats on 1,000, brothers. You well deserved and well earned.
Thank you all. Couldn't have done it without all the rest of you guys. Really good to see some new faces in the side chat. Great to see a couple of faces I turned over here. Good to see you, and welcome. Hope you can join us religiously. We have a good time, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. I dropped a couple of videos the other day. I got a couple more in mind, and that's about it. Got a lot of stuff going on here behind the scenes, but I'm trying to stay busy and keep my mind on other things. So with that, I'll hand it over to Jamie. And
again, congrats. I want to thank all the panel members. You guys make the show. you guys in the side chat, you drive the show. If weren't for you, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. So fun times. Uh, glad you were all here. I appreciate every one of you. Um, M1 Abrams subbed and hit the bell. Great, great. We try to do this every Friday night, and uh, we're coming up on 5 years in May, and we'll look and find the exact date. But we ain't missed a whole lot of Friday nights. I think we missed one when I was in the hospital once. But other than that, and
You somehow managed to pull it off.
yep, they've not all been great. But anyway, I want to see if I can do this correctly. Monday night is MacMan, 9 o'clock Eastern. Tuesday night is the Reloading podcast. Y'all guys go over and check those guys out. It's pretty much a taping for their podcast. Then they go back and edit what we see, and then it's pretty big time. But anyway, uh, so Wednesday night we've got Chris from the 740 and High Boys Battle Room Bible Studies on Wednesday nights as well. Then on Thursday nights, um, we got uh, High Boy does Thursday nights. Friday night is us. Then Saturday at 6 o'clock Eastern, G23, 8 o'clock Uncle Jim, 10 o'clock the Hillbilly Nation, and it's a fun time over there. All right, so I messed up a little bit. Please forgive me. I should have this written out and be able to just blurt it off. Anyway, guys, we appreciate y'all. We hope the Lord blesses y'all real good. And if He's willing, we'll see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock.